Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm super excited to be back for today's video, the easy road or the hard road. And today, I want to talk about this topic, the easy road or the hard road, because I've had a few clients come to me and ask me for help around helping manage an employee who thinks they're better than you, who thinks they can do their job better than you, and they could challenge you all the time. And it can be incredibly frustrating to manage these folks. And so that's why I want to talk to you. That's what I want to talk to you about today. That being said, my name is Gabriel Cox, and I equip first-time supervisors with necessary leadership skills. I hope you enjoy this video. So what's the problem here? What's going on? So the problem is that new managers are faced with employees who think they can do better. Maybe that employee was passed over for promotion. Maybe they feel that they should be in your job, and they have a lot of anger and a lot of frustration, and they cast that out on you, which is very understandable because they're pissed. Why did you get to come into the company, and why are you there instead of them? And so they constantly are in your head. They're constantly questioning everything you do. They're giving you every nonverbal that you can imagine, the scoff, the look, the silent treatment, all of that stuff. They barely even acknowledge your position. So a lot of these employees can be extremely frustrating. The other problem is that oftentimes when you as a supervisor are met with this type of employee, you're going to find that it will demotivate you to lead them. It will actually kind of make it to where you avoid them and just have nothing to do with them as a result. And the other part is that the more you are met with this adversity, the more you are met with this challenge, it makes you question if you should actually be in that job. Should you actually be the leader of this whatever division, department, whatever it is? And so that's the big problem, is when you start questioning your own value and your own ability. And so you might ask, why do I care? What's in this for me? You have a couple roads, and this is where the easy road, hard road comes into play. The easy road is, yes, of course, terminate the employee as long as it's legal and whatever, everything's in alignment there. But the easy road is just to get rid of them. Push them off onto another supervisor, find another job for them, cast them out. That's the easy road, right? The hard road is to lead them. That's the challenge. How are you going to lead these people? What is going to give you the ability to push through this and not take the easy road? Now, a lot of supervisors will say, I'm just going to avoid because I don't want conflict. I don't want any of that stuff. And so it's extremely, extremely challenging. But that's what we're here to talk about today. No one wants to feel this way. No one wants to feel that they are not cut out for the job. They are whatever. So what can you do about it? Couple tools, couple strategies I'm going to give you today. One, listen. You'd be surprised how effective listening can be. And what I'm saying here is, we've all heard the three types of listening. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Of course, you've heard of active listening. Well, a great example of active listening is to listen for what is not being said. Sorry about that, tripped over my words. But listen for what is not being said. And what I mean by that, if your employee comes up to you and you give them task directions, or you even say good morning, and they kind of scoff at you or say whatever they're going to say, and they blow you off, question that. Your brain is noticing that. You're picking up on what they're not saying. What's stopping you from questioning that? What's stopping you from asking them, hey, I noticed that you kind of scoffed at me. I noticed that you blew me off the other day. What was going on for you? And your ability to intuitively and actively listen is what's going to help you get in that door. So now that you're listening and you got their attention because, holy cow, they've never been heard before, now let's move into the next step, which is the best one. And a lot of folks might actually say that this is the most important, but you'll never get here if you're not actively listening, if you're not using your gut and saying, what are they really saying without saying anything verbally? The next step is to acknowledge and validate their feelings. And what I mean by that is they are angry, they're upset, they're frustrated, they feel that they've been shortchanged, they feel that you are not cut out for the job. It's very easy to acknowledge and validate how they're feeling. And from their perspective, their feelings are completely legitimate. And so when you as a supervisor come up and you use your intuitive listening, you say, hey, I noticed that you blew me off the other day, or you said whatever, or you didn't say anything. What was going on for you? And they tell you, I'm really pissed because I feel I should be the boss, or I didn't agree with what you said. Acknowledge and validate that and tell them, hey, of course you feel that way. Of course you feel that you are shortchanged, or that you should be in my position, or whatever it is. Anyone in that job, anybody who's been with the company for as long as you have, or insert whatever words you want to here, but acknowledge and validate them. What I don't want you to do is tell them, I know what it's like to feel where you're at because blah, 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 because I was in the same shoes. No, you weren't. And no, you are not. Your story is not their story. And that's the key thing to remember here, is the fact that they don't need somebody to sympathize with them. They just want to be heard and understood. And acknowledging and validate helps you with that. It will ease that. It will ease that burden. And watch what happens when they shift, when they see how, holy cow, this person, my supervisor, is listening to me. They're acknowledging and validating my feelings. What just happened? And immediately you have them. You have them on your team. You have them on your side because now they believe in your ability to lead. And finally, as a part of all of this, one of my favorite things is to explain to people the big picture as far as they need to know, right? People don't need to see, way down in the future as far as reasonable, right? They need to understand the bigger picture. A lot of employees today want to be a part of that bigger picture. And when you're able to share that big picture with them, it helps them. So after you've acknowledged their feelings that you noticed through their nonverbals, you've acknowledged and validated them, you've made them feel, hey, I'm here to listen to you. And you showed that by calling out that nonverbal. Now you're going to explain to them, here's the reason why, fill in the blank. Here's the reason why. Here's the reason why you weren't selected to be supervisor. Here's the reason why they didn't pick me over you. And the truth is probably, somewhere along the lines of experience, qualification, whatever it is. But explain that to them. Help them understand, because right now they feel that you're the best, or they're the best, and you're just the person in the way. And so the other side of this that I want to bring to your attention is that of this, when you're creating this big picture for them, don't ever, and I've said this in a previous video, don't ever tell them because the boss said so. Don't ever tell them because my boss said this has to be done, or whatever. Never use that when you're creating that bigger picture. Just explain to them, here's the angles that I see it from. And if you're so inclined and you feel that it's appropriate, ask them, where do you see this? What do you see as a challenge? Or whatever along those lines when you're creating that bigger picture. So a couple questions I'd like to ask. One, how clear are you on the difference between empathy and sympathy? And remember that empathy removes the I statement, okay? It's very frustrating, when this happens. Whereas I puts you in the story, okay? The next step, or next question I'd like to ask is what are you doing to actively listen to your people? What are you doing with those nonverbals that we pick up on every day? Are you calling them out? Are you excited? Are you putting down your phone and talking to your people? Are you pushing away from the desk like so many bosses fail to do? And really that's it. Just a couple of questions. But I hope you enjoyed this video. It can be very useful for you if you have this employee who is pushing you, and we're going to get them all the time. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you've had this situation, please put that in the comments box. Say, hey, been there, done that, managed it, whatever. Did you take the easy road, hard road? Feel free to share that with me. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.